Well, folks, welcome to this week's A Sportsman's Life. Look who Mr. Jeff and I have with us. Mr. Whitetail is going to be has been part of our show for a few weeks. Larry is going to impart some knowledge each week and some fun.
It's all fun.
It is all fun, and I am truly honored to be with you guys. I'll tell you what, Luke and I have been doing radio for a while. Almost 11 years, every Saturday morning or throughout the week as well too, and I've had the opportunity to spend time around Jeff through Luke, and I am truly honored to be part of this. And really what my kind of part that I kind of see is kind of a Q&A kind of thing, where we'll talk about different hunting tips, learning about optics, learning about hunting gear, learning about rifles, all those kind of things. Just pure simple information that you may already know, but you know, there are a lot of people getting into the outdoors, so we're going to try to take it very basically and bring it forward.
Excellent. And folks, if you think running with these two rascals is not fun, this is really serious hard work, but we're going to jump into our show, so stay with us every week. Larry's going to be here, Jeff's always with us. We're going to have a great time, and we want you to be right here every week with us.
Welcome to A Sportsman's Life. We had a small group of hogs there. Most of those looked like boars from what I could tell. Looked like a solid hit. We're going to give it some time and then we'll go check it out. Well friends, we're back. Right behind me, about 35 or 40 yards, is the feeder. I cannot find blood. I'm following these trails. I'm out about 40 yards. No blood. I did watch the video. It looks like I hit him just a little high. A lesson here, try to shoot low on hogs. Next lesson, no blood, we got to do some zigzagging, so we're going to get back in here and we're going to look. We've given it a good probably hour, close to an hour. Well, it's finally getting a little bit lighter out here, so it's a little bit easier to see. I need light to see blood. And I'm getting more light, so we're venturing on. We're going to head back. I think we're going to go start over again right where we shot, and we'll come back and see again. Maybe he went off a different direction, but now that I got a little more light, this will help. So stick with me, folks. Let's go find this guy. Well, it's disappointing when you're walking around and you're looking for a hog and you see this and you go, wow, that might be him. No, stump. All right, we're looking. I don't know. We're following the trail. That's what you want to do, folks. As you can see, there's a trail right here. And that hog, I believe, went down this trail. So I have got to zigzag or stay on or near this trail in order to find him. And I don't need stuff like that because it distracts you. Well, when all else fails, you go back to the scene. This is where we shot him. right there. And so he came right down this trail that we're on here. And I'm going to go back and I'm going to look again, make sure I don't miss a drop of blood. But there's a couple of trails, as you can see. One runs off right there and one runs right there. They kind of meet off in a distance, so I think it went that direction. It's just a matter of, did it turn right, did it turn left, did it follow the rest of the group, because a bunch of them went that way, so I don't know. But that's what happens. Lesson learned, folks. When you hit a hog high like that, it's not good. So my fingers are crossed. Hopefully we'll bring home some pork, but don't know. Let's take another look at that shot. Welcome back to the show. Unfortunately, we were unable to put that hog down. You know what? I did an ethical shot. At least, you know, it was broadside. It was right there, 40 yards away. It was just, it was hunter error there. So those things happen, unfortunately. Sometimes you just can't avoid it. And I put a high shot on it, and my only hope is that, you know, that hog is still running around out there. I don't know. It does appear it was hit in no man's land. They're right just above the vitals and below the spine. And unfortunately, those are really, really tough to recover. So anyway, the sun is up. I think I'll go get my wife up, go get some breakfast, and stay tuned, folks. Later this afternoon, I think we'll slip back down into the blind, and we'll bring it back to you here live again, see if we can't come up with something this time. We'll hit a little bit lower, hopefully. So anyway, we'll be back, and more hunting to come here on A Sportsman's Life.
Folks, as an old outdoors writer, I have used lots of products. Smoke and Tex electric smokers. The best smokers that you can find. This is Diz and this is Scott, my buddies. Diz, tell them how they can learn more about Smoke and Tex.
Yeah, obviously the number one source of information is going to be our website. It's got hundreds of recipes, it's got helpful guides, it's got all of our models and our accessories listed there. Of course, we have a phone number, 888-922-1511, and we'll actually answer our own phones.
That's true. And Diz, the main thing, the easy way, smokingtex.com. You can learn all about it.
Correct. And of course, we're on all the social media, Instagram, Facebook, etc. So take a look at us whenever you can, and whatever social media you'd like, and we look forward to working with you.
Well, we got back to camp here and we took a couple shots with that Texan 45 carbine Air Force air gun, big boy air gun, and it does look like I was a little bit high. My first shot there, as you can see, is a little bit high. Probably why I hit high on that hog, darn it. So we've made an adjustment and I think we're going to be good. We are going to head out this evening and try this again. We had a little tough time this morning, shot high as you saw. But you know what, don't give up, go back out. But this time we're going to bring an expert marksman with us, my wife. So she and I are going to go sit in the blind. We're going to take the Air Force Air Gun 45 carbine back out with us. Got Nelson Specialty ammo ready to go. The backpack is loaded up. And here comes my wife. So we're heading out. We'll see you in the blind. Well, folks, welcome back. We are a wrap for Saturday evening. My wife Demi, she was on hogs there. It's just sometimes, you know, you don't take a shot unless you really feel comfortable, and she just felt like she was not on where she needed to be to pull the trigger, and something called the hogs away from us and pulled them off of us, and they headed out in a different direction. So no go tonight, but you know what, we're going to get up tomorrow morning and we're going to try it again. And I'm sitting here watching this buck right behind my camera. It's kind of funny. We're just sitting out here wrapping up the show, and gonna go in and make some dinner, and I'm gonna get up. I'll sneak back down to the blind tomorrow, and we'll sit in the morning for a little bit. So this whole show has really been about just a weekend to get out and enjoy, you know, God's green earth out here. It's just beautiful. A little bit warm, a little bit humid, but not too darn bad. So tomorrow morning will be nice. This morning was real nice, and of course you were with me on that hunt, and unsuccessful there, but you know what, you keep at it and just have fun doing it. So well, until tomorrow morning, I'm going to put away the gun here and wrap up, and we'll see you tomorrow morning when we head to the blind. Well, it was sure nice having you guys join me on this week's show. You know, just a weekend getaway. My wife and I out here by ourselves. You know, no projects that we're going to do. We just decided we were going to hunt for the weekend and try to get a hog. And well, no luck this time, but certainly just fun to get out in the outdoors and enjoy nature. It's just great. So we had the Air Force air guns, 45 cal carbine, and we took a shot, as you saw, but doggone it if we didn't hit it a little bit high, and that's never a good thing. So lesson learned right there, folks. Don't hit that spot. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed this week's show. We're going to come back here in just a second. I'm going to show you a little secret way I kind of prepare some hatch chili peppers. So this time of year, when you're at the grocery store and you see fresh hatch chili peppers, you might want to grab some, even canned. I'll show you what I'm going to do here. Stay tuned.
Well, hello, my friends. It's your old buddy Luke Clayton, and I'm coming to you from out in the woods by my little cabin behind the house here in the trees. I want to talk to you today, maybe get you fired up doing something you're hunting a little different. For years and years, I grew up shooting when I was a kid, 30-30, and I still hunt with a 30-30 sometime. Then I became a bow hunter. That's all I did. What do you hunt with? Oh, I'm a bow hunter. Well, I'm still a bow hunter, but I hunt with other things too. And I found it to be a lot of fun. This is an Air Force Air Guns Texan, folks, 45 caliber. I shoot Nelson Specialty Ammo swage bullets in this thing. Big old bullets, 240 grains and bigger. I've probably killed 30 hogs, just guessing, with it. I've killed a lot of exotics, 8 or 10 exotics. I killed a nice buck up on the Dale River Ranch with my Air Force Air Guns Texan. It's a hammer for hogs. Why did I get started in shooting a big bore air gun, or air guns in general? I can answer that. I knew nothing about a PCP air gun that you air up with a tank. And it was just a fun learning curve. And I still love to hunt with my Texan, and I do a lot. Another air gun, this is a Seneca Dragon Claw, and it shoots bullets also, but it shoots the air bolt. You see Mr. Weissoon, Larry, with us quite a bit. He shot a good eater pig, you might remember recently, with his Seneca Dragon Claw. So, you know, load it with an arrow. Not legal during archery season, so don't worry about that. But during rifle season, it's just something different that you might want to try. Seneca Dragon Claw, 50 caliber. Now, if I want to go out, say I want to hunt hogs at night, I have the Wraith right here by Sightmark. You've seen me bragging on this and actually seen a lot of video of the Wraith. It's digital night vision. It's a day and night scope actually. I've hunted with it during the day. Use it at night also. I mean, it's just shoot a hog at 125 yards on a pitch dark night, no problem. So I have it mounted on a, probably a little contradictory to what most hog hunters do. They have the ARs, but mounted on a little 223. And this, I have killed a bunch of hogs. So if I want to shoot a hog at night, I grab this, make sure my batteries are hot in my Wraith, and I go get them. Now, okay, what about the old 30-30? I still like to hunt with it. It's what you stalking hogs in the woods. This little thing is so light. I did mount a quality peep sight on the back. I had to buy another front sight that was the right height. This thing at 75 yards will shoot like a 2-inch group all day long and out to 100. I feel comfortable shooting it out to 100 yards. So another tool that I hunt with. Am I a 30-30 hunter? Sometimes, but not all the time. And then something that's really overlooked, in my opinion, is small game hunting. This is a Ruger 1022 scoped, and it's an absolute tack driver. I sighted in at about 50 feet where it's dead on for squirrel hunting. You can knock the squirrel out of the tallest pin oak tree with this. So what I'd like you to take away from this little segment here, don't be afraid to try something new. Don't box yourself in that, to the point that you won't try a new sporting arm or a bow or whatever. Try something new, and don't forsake, dance with what brung you. I still shoot my, my gearhead bows, but it's just so much fun, really, folks, to try different things in the outdoors. So we'll get back to our show. Hopefully this will maybe spark you on, if you've never done, I have a muzzle loader in there in the cabin. I still hunt with a muzzle loader every now and then. I still like it. But try something new in the outdoors, folks. I think it might just put the spark back into your hunting.
Welcome back to A Sportsman's Life, folks. We have a special camp recipe. So what we're going to do here is we've got seasonal. These are hatch chili peppers, okay? These are mild. There's about a pound of them. Here's a can. We're going to put them into the freezer in little packets. So you'll have hatch chili that is only seasonal. You can get it this time of year. We're in August, and you can find this at the stores, but it won't last long. So pick you some up, bring it home. We're going to put it in this dish. We're going to freeze it. We're going to vacuum seal it, and we're going to put them in usable portions for upcoming camp cooking segments. Just for our dinner. So good stuff. Get you some of this stuff. There you go. This happens to be mild, so you can get them hot, whatever. But pick them up at your local grocer while you can get them, and let's get them frozen into the freezer so we can use these later on. So we're going to open up this can, and you're going to see there's going to be some liquid in here. Now what I do is I keep the liquid. I keep the liquid with it, let it freeze with it. So we're just going to dump all of this into a pan, just like so. And what we're going to do is just kind of jiggle it here until it's flat. Nice and flat. So let's get this frozen, and we'll come back. We're going to get the vacuum sealer out. We're going to seal these up, and we're going to get them in deep freeze for future use. So stay tuned. We're going to get this in the freezer. Okay, so what we're doing is we're putting a little water in this thing, a little warm water in the sink. So we've got our hatch chili peppers out of the freezer. What we're going to do is we're going to cut these into pieces that you can use. You can we'll vacuum seal them up, and we'll put them in the freezer for later use, so you can have a whole bunch of them. So I just need to get this out of the pan, so I'm going to set it in a little warm water. Gonna let her sit there for a minute, and then we should be able to pop this right out, and then break our pieces in the size we want. Put them in the baggies, vacuum seal them, put them back in the freezer, and we are ready for making enchiladas and all those other things later on. So, okay, I think we're probably good here. Let's go over and see if we can get this out of the pan. Okay, so we've got it out of water. When you turn it over, it may take a second, but it'll pop out of there. You just gotta let it go. And when it pops out, then we will cut it into pieces. Come on. There it goes. Okay, now we've got our frozen peppers. Now it's just a matter of cutting them into sizes that you want to use. You can cut it with a knife, you can break it into pieces, however you want to do it. I'm just going to take this knife and carefully kind of break it into, I'm going to do 4. I'm going to do 4 sections here. So what we'll do is we'll take these. Now they're frozen, so you won't have all that liquid running up in there, but you want to work quickly. So you want to take each one of these, slide it in a bag. There we go. Believe me, when we get to hunting camp, you pull one of these things out just before you go. You got this ready to go when you make your Mexican dish, whatever it is you're going to make. There you go, hatch chili peppers. There we go. All 4 of them are in there. Let's remove that. Get rid of the glove. Move the dishes out of the way. Now we're going to focus on getting these things vacuum sealed. So we have 4 of them. These things are the greatest. Folks, if you don't use a vacuum sealer, you're missing it. This stuff keeps food fresh a long, long time. We're going to go ahead and put, this is wide enough where I can actually do 2 of these at a time. I'm just going to set them both in there, like so. But what I like to do, I like to double seal them, so it puts 2 lines. It really seals it good. And then we hit vacuum and seal. There you have it. And there it goes. Take that baby out. Look at that. Perfect. See how that's sealed in there? That will keep fresh for years, literally. You throw that back in the freezer, write what's in it, date it so you know, but yeah, hatch chili peppers right there. They're seasonal. You can get them and freeze them and use them year round. So that is your cooking tip of the day. So we'll get back to the show. Thanks for joining me on A Sportsman's Life.
Well, folks, you know, a couple of years ago, Texas made it legal to hunt with air rifles, big bore air rifles. Now, me and my buddy, Mr. Wysoon here, Larry has got an air rifle that shoots arrows.
Also known as bolts, I have learned.
Bolts. Bolts are arrows. And this is the Seneca Dragon Claw, 50 caliber. It also shoots bullets.
It does. I prefer to shoot the arrows because it's a little bit different compared to everything that I've done in the past. I used to tease people, you ever going to shoot a bow again? I said, yeah, as soon as I can shoot it out of a gun. Well, guess what? Now I can shoot a broadhead bolt out of an air gun.
That's
with this
right.
particular model.
And we're out here hog hunting on our buddy Jeff Rice's Buck and Bass Ranch. Got a broadhead on there. Cape buffalo have been killed with this rig.
Right. Keith Warren is taking Cape buffalo, and don't tell him what else he's taking in Africa. So it's a great tool. It's a new way of hunting as far as I'm concerned, and I'm anxious to try it this year.
And Larry, that's part of it. It was new to me when I first started shooting air guns about 9 years, big bore air guns, PCP guns. It was brand new, and that was part of the allure to me. It was something new, and I got to learn about it. Now, so Larry has the arrow hunting with the bolt or the arrow covered with the Seneca Dragon Claw. Great setup. Now, if you want to use, now this is what I hunt with. This is Air Force Air Guns Texan. Now, this is the carbine model. They make a longer barreled model that gets a little more velocity, but I've killed a bunch of critters, hogs, and I killed a nice buck with this rig last year. So Air Force Air Guns Texan, they make, this is 45 caliber. They make a 50 caliber, which I haven't shot yet, but this will generate over 500 foot-pounds of energy. So bullets, Mr. Wysoon's got his arrows. You think, well, what kind of bullets? You'd think, well, it's an air gun, maybe a little light bullet. These are swage bullets here, And Nielsen Specialty Ammo makes them. You probably can't see them this close, but they're a very well-made, well-designed bullet as far as for air guns, strictly. So Larry, I think we've maybe give the folks a good primer in air gunology.
It is. It's a new way of hunting, legal now in Texas. Bows, this one can't be used during the archery season, but it can be used with an arrow during the regular hunting season. So just something new to play with and a new kind of adventure. And if you haven't tried it yet, let me suggest that you do. I think you'll be truly impressed.
I think so, Larry. And for folks that, well, where do I get all this stuff? Pyramid Air is the largest air gun supply company in the world. Just go to Pyramid Air. They have people there that you can actually call if you're going to have some questions. If you don't know someone that's already shooting these big bores, well, Pyramid Air has some folks that can help you out. So hopefully this little tutorial with Mr. Weissoon and myself, hopefully it'll help you get started in something that's fun to do.
These days, almost everybody hunts with some kind of shooting optic, if you will. This happens to be a Trijicon, and happen to really like this Trijicon scope right here. It's an AccuPoint. It's got a little tritium dial back here, so there's right at the juncture of the crosshairs that are in here, there's a little, in this instance, a green spot. Helps you get on target a whole lot quicker. Helps you in terms of when there's lower light conditions. Scope, there's so much to scopes these days. We're at a point to where we've got the best optics that we've ever had in ever. And a lot of them are now, years ago you shot a 2.5, a 4 power, fixed power 6, maybe a little bit of 7 or something like that. These days most people shoot variables. They finally got the mechanics down where variables work really, really well. This happens to be a 2.5 to a 12.5. And if you'll notice, there is there's a parallax adjustment right here on this side. Now parallax, if you're using a scope that goes up to 10 power and not beyond that, you don't need to be worried about parallax at all. Parallax is essentially, a lot of people call it a focus ring. You want to set your focus back here so that whatever you're looking at, that your crosshairs are crystal clear. That's what this is for. Then when it comes to adjusting the focus beyond that, that's where you want to use it here. Most of them come with settings to where it runs anywhere from about 40 yards to infinity on this one. And what that parallax does is just aligns everything properly when you get right down to it, and it makes the focus of the animal that you're looking at very crystal clear. There are lots of different kinds of scopes available these days. There's a first focal plane and a second focal plane. First focal plane, as you increase the magnification, the animal increases in size, but so does the crosshairs that are in there. It takes that crosshair that's this big and puts it down to a much smaller size. The second plane, the animal or the target you're shooting at, pretty much stays the same, or rather the reticles stay the same as you increase the magnification on it. So go to a really good dealer somewhere and have them show you some of the scopes that are there and explain to you exactly how they work, and I think you're going to be real happy when you do that. Also, these days a lot of people are doing long range shooting. Now, you can hold over, or some of them too will have an adjustable turret. This happens to have an adjustable turret as well. This one happens to be sighted in at 100 yards or 75 yards actually, and knowing what the drop is with a range card, I can adjust accordingly. A whole lot easier if you have the time than a holdover is. So I know that if I need to go with this one, if I need to go 250 yards, I click up to about the 2 figure on here. Some of them actually will have the range up here to give you an idea as to where you need to do it to. But so many different optics, so many different choices these days. 1 minute tube wise, a lot of the old scopes were all 1-inch tube. This happens to be a 30mm tube that allows for a little bit more light transmission. Now, your eye can receive a grand total of 5mm of light. That means essentially that your iris will open up to a 5mm to accept that light. So these days with the scopes that we have, sometimes you can get a lot more of that kind of thing. You can get it up to 7 or 8 sometimes, but you can only see 5. But what happens is, with the coatings that are being put on these lenses these days, that really also helps as far as light transmission. Buy a scope that you like. Most people now these days seem to go to the high variables from 4 to 18. In most instances, it's to me, it's a waste of money. Once you get from a hunting situation, if you got one that you can crank down to 2.5, I mean, you can go in a dangerous game, hunt close at 12.5. You can shoot as far out as you want to. But get out, try different scopes, and go to a good dealer and have him show you what's available. And you can't go wrong with the Trijicon. Bottom line.
Well, friends, welcome back. Thanks again for joining us on this week's show. Gosh, guys, we have so much fun doing this stuff, don't you think? I mean,
I know.
This is out of this world fun.
Oh.
I can't tell you how much I appreciate and how honored I truly am to be with you guys.
Well,
and all those folks out there too.
absolutely. We want to thank you folks for joining us each week. We have fun bringing this stuff to you, and we certainly appreciate you joining us, liking us, sharing us, and joining us for another adventure. We'll have another exciting adventure next week, so stay tuned, and until then, be safe in the outdoors. And a special thanks to Air Force Air Guns, Dallas Safari Club, Hornaday, Pyramid Air, Nielsen Specialty Ammo, Sightmark, Smoke and Tex, and Striper Express.